How's it going? My name is Clint.
I'm Jess.
And we are Alien Fitness. And today we're going to talk about ditching diet mentality. So I'm going to list through some of our key points about having a healthy relationship with food. And then we're going to jump into some detail about them and which one of those points stick out to us most. So number one on the list is you give yourself permission to eat foods that you enjoy. Number two, you listen to and respect your body's natural hunger cues. Number three, you eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full. Number four, no foods are off limits. There's no such thing as bad foods, with the caveat of overly processed foods. Number five, you don't obsess over the numbers on the scale. Number six, you don't let the opinions of others dictate which foods you do and do not eat. Number seven, you do not need to justify your food choices to yourself or to others. Number seven, you understand that you are not defined by the foods that you eat. Don't put labels on yourself. Number eight, you enjoy all foods within moderation, portion control. Number nine, you choose foods that make you feel your best. And number 10, calories are not the focus of the foods that you eat. So with that being said, which one of those stuck out to you the most?
So, as a girl that used to binge eat, like actually binge eat, and have a very, very bad relationship with food, almost all of these, going through this list, listening to you, was kind of like, it's a lot. But giving yourself unconditional permission to eat foods and not listening to what others have to say is probably two of the biggest ones that stuck out to me, because in your journey, like all things in moderation is so important. You need to be mentally satisfied with your food as well. So let's say you're craving ice cream and you decide to have a bunch of carrots instead just so you're eating. You're probably still going to land up binging on that ice cream and having the ice cream. So it's important that you focus on incorporating all foods into your diet so you don't do those things. And then someone is always going to have something to say about the way you eat. Whether you eat healthy or whether you eat unhealthy, whether you have a balanced diet, it doesn't matter what you do. Someone's always going to have something to say. So you cannot allow that to dictate the way you actually eat. I've had so many instances where, I eat healthy. So then someone says, oh, you should relax. You should have a burger. But then you have that burger and people are like, what are you doing? Like, that's so unhealthy. I can't believe you just had that burger. And it's like, what do you want from me? Like, what do you actually want from me? So learning not to listen to people and just eating the foods you enjoy and honoring your hunger cues and honoring what you want is so incredibly important, because let me tell you, the flip side of all of this is not pretty.
So for me, I'm a bodybuilder. For those of you who don't know, I compete. So my diet is restrictive. I'm not a foodie, so I eat foods that benefit me or that help me towards my goal. And somebody's always gonna have something to say, like Jess said. I'm at work and I'm eating my chicken and rice, and for me, that's great. Like, that's a good meal. Put some seasoning, put some salt, I'm good to go. And they're like, oh, well, just have a Timbit. You can have one. Well, I don't want one. I didn't want one before you brought it up. I don't want one after you brought it up. So why badger me? And what I've realized is 99.9% of the time, when you're in those situations, it's not even about you or what you're eating. It's about how you are taking care of yourself makes the other person feel. So the people around me that see me eating healthy, they feel guilty because, here they are on their 10th Timbit and I'm eating my asparagus and I have a smile on my face. I feel good. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel like I've consumed too much sugar. I can enjoy a Timbit when I want to because it's within reason, because I have a balanced diet, and I can control my cravings, whereas that person, perhaps they can't. Perhaps they're not happy with the way they eat or the way they look. So that is not a reflection on me. The other big one that really irks me is the scale. So as a competitor, I have a goal that I'm working towards. I do not touch the scale unless I have to check in with my coach. Other than check-in days, it is not my concern, it is not my responsibility how I look or how much I weigh. There's a plan that I am following, there's a blueprint that my coach has put out for me. It is my job to follow that blueprint. Same thing if you are trying, like if you're on a weight loss journey or if you're trying to bulk up, you need to have a plan and you need to see it through. When people tell me, oh, like I weighed in today at this, and then the next day they're like, oh, well, I weighed this. And the next day they're like, oh, I weighed this and I feel great. Like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Your weight is going to fluctuate day to day. My weight fluctuates day to day. It's natural. If you're focused on the scale every day, it is 1000% counterproductive. You're going to be demotivated. You're not going to be happy whether it goes up or goes down, depending on your goal, because it's going to fluctuate. So if you're on a weight loss journey and you weigh in today and then you weigh in tomorrow and you've gained half a pound, you're going to be like, oh, well, shit, like I did everything I could have done yesterday to be within my calorie intake or within my macros, and I still put on half a pound. And you're going to say, well, there's no point. It's counterproductive. Do not do it.
Especially as a woman. So I used to weigh myself every day, but I also used to freak out if I didn't see 150. If I was below 150, I was like, nope, that's it. I gotta go eat something. Like I had a very specific weight that I wanted to be at all times. But again, that's very counterproductive because, like I said, especially being a woman, if you're close to your period, you can fluctuate like you would not believe. There are so many factors that go into it. And unless you have a general understanding of nutrition or you have a general understanding of working out and how your body reacts to certain things, you're going to see these fluctuations and you're just going to, again, freak out. And it's not healthy. It's not okay. There's no reason to weigh yourself every day. If you're feeling good and your clothes fit well and you're on this path of, feeling good, the scale really doesn't matter. So it's not something you need to worry about. And if you are focused on the process, the scale is going to change anyways. So focus on the process, not the outcome. Always, always the process.
So with focusing on the process, weighing yourself every day isn't going to get you any closer to your goal. Being consistent, eating a balanced diet, getting proper rest, focusing on your stress levels, focusing on your water intake, focusing on your sodium, those are all things that are built into the process that will affect your goal, either negatively or positively. But if you're only looking at the scale, you're missing everything else in between, and you're never going to get to where you want to get.
Yeah, that's so true. There's actually another point that I really want to bring up, and that is actually the most important one to me, so I don't know why I didn't touch on this. But it's choosing foods that make you feel your best. And again, this goes back to the mental side of things. Learning to take a step back from what you're eating to figure out if it's going to make you feel good or if it's going to make you feel bad, if it's going to take you closer to your goal or further away from your goal. And food impacts you in so many different ways. Like from a personal experience the other day, I was hungry. Shocker, but I was hungry and I was looking for something to eat, and I opened the cupboard and the first thing I see is cookie butter. So I grabbed the cookie butter and I had to stop and I had to think, how am I going to feel after I eat this? Am I going to feel proud of myself? or am I going to feel like shit? And I paused and I thought about it, and I put the cookie butter back, I put the spoon down, because it's not going to make me feel good. And it's really and truly difficult to learn how to do that, but it's so important. It is so important, and I want to touch on why my girls are so successful, or what the most successful ones have in common. And it is learning to eat the foods that make them feel best. And the ones that have a healthy relationship excel. Like, they do so well. But not everyone starts off like that. Like I said, I used to have an eating disorder. I know some girls still struggle with binge eating. But unless you remove your obstacles, you're never going to be able to excel long term, because any results you have are going to be temporary. If you do not have a healthy relationship with food, you have no business dieting. I say this to my girls. As soon as you get into my program, if you have an unhealthy relationship with food, you have absolutely no business dieting, because it is only going to make things worse for you. Healthy everything, healthy mind, healthy relationship, healthy body, all of these things come in together. So.
And I want to specify or clarify, just talks about girls, but none of this is limited to females.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was just talking about my girls, but everyone,
Guys,
absolutely everyone.
Guys binge as well. I see it all the time. I hear about it all the time, especially with fellow competitors.
Yeah.
And it's not, most of the time, it's not just about the food. It's about everything else that's going on in your life. And you result to the food thinking that that's going to make you feel better, or you eat your feelings, whatever it may be. You need to figure that out. You need to reach out to somebody that can help you figure that out, and put processes in place. You're not just going to fix it in one day. You're not going to find the magic solution in 1 hour. You're not going to solve all your life's problems in one conversation. Yeah. But if you take one step, if you put one checkpoint, if you put one measure in place at a time, you will get there. You will get better if you want to. But you have to start with at least that one step.
It's true. That first step is the hardest. Being able to look at yourself and dig deep as to why you're actually doing these things is an incredibly difficult thing to do. So we talk about it so easily, but it's not. And if it seems that way, we definitely don't mean it to be. But this is just what you need to do. That first step is what you need to take. And
we could talk about this for hours. We
yeah,
could talk about this for days. So we're here to help you guys.
Yeah.
So if you struggle, reach out. If you have comments, questions, reach out. But we're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Cheers. I hope you have a healthy relationship with food. If you don't, I hope you find it. If we can help you, I hope we can. We're here for you. Cheers.
Take care.